To start, here is some information on the accompanying form for exploring music in context. 6/MEMC. Group 6, Music, Exploring Music in Context for both standard level and high level students. The submission here is made up of 3 uploads. Firstly, the written work containing up to a maximum of 2,400 words can be in the format of a PDF file or a Word document, but both the written work and the visual information for this component must be packaged into a single document. You can see page 45 of the guide or page 77 of the teacher support material for more information. There is a very specific order in which the materials should appear, and you should refer to page 45 again of the guide for this information. Next, there needs to be audio evidence packaged into a single audio file. The order of the tracks in the audio file should be in the same order as the cover sheet, and it is vital that the timings match up with the information contained in the written work. Again, you should refer to page 77 of the teacher support material for details and page 46 of the guide. Thirdly, upload 3 is devoted to the audio reference material, again all in the form of a single audio file and not exceeding 3 minutes in duration. One should refer to page 46 of the guide for all of the details. For experimenting with music, 6/MEM, again for both standard level and high level students, only 2 uploads are required. There should be an experimentation report of no more than 1,500 words accompanying this submission. You should refer to page 60 of the guide and page 78 of the teacher support material, as well as the audio evidence. For the written work and visual evidence, the information should be contained again in a single document and should be in the order of experimentation report creating, experimentation report performing, the track list, and then the bibliography. For the audio evidence, there should be 3 related excerpts of the experiments in creating and 3 related excerpts of the experimenting in performing. Although it says on page 60 of the guide that, quote, all practical evidence must be packaged into a single audio file, unquote, the information on page 78 of the teacher support material, which relates more specifically to the submission process, indicates that the audio materials for the excerpts relating to creating and those relating to performing should be separated into 2 audio files. I have thus chosen to separate the audio files for this reason. Remember that the total timings here should not exceed 10 minutes as indicated on the form. And it is also indicated on page 42 of the guide that the 3 related excerpts for creating and the 3 related excerpts for performing should not exceed 5 minutes each. Finally, for performing music, 6/MPM, for May and November 2022 high-level students only, the students are required to submit 2 uploads for this component depending on their choices. Firstly, a document of no more than 600 words for the written program notes. Secondly, for the audio evidence relating to presenting as a creator and presenting as a performer, it is indicated on page 52 of the guide that the material should be packaged into a single file, and this is confirmed on page 79 of the teacher support material. Thus, in my sample, the minutes and seconds for the presenting as a performer, in this case as a soloist, follow on from those in the presenting as a creator. Remember that the maximum length for presenting as a creator cannot be more than 6 minutes, and for presenting as a performer, not more than 12 minutes. Here it comes in at 11 minutes and 46 seconds. For ensemble-only submissions, there is a separate section where students need to indicate what was their role in the ensemble. Similarly, if the student is submitting under the category of Music Technology Performance, there is a section labelled Upload 3, and only here, video evidence of the performance is required. There is also a coursework authentication form 6/MCAF, in which an overview of each of the components need to be documented in the form of inquiry, action, and reflection. I've chosen not to provide a sample of this here, but there is specific information about this dynamic cycle on page 3 and 4 of the guide, and an example of this in relation to studying electronic music on pages 107 and 108 of the teacher reflection material. And finally, to the contemporary music maker, 6 MCMM document. Now this is only for high-level students, but similar to presenting music and experimenting with music, the contemporary music maker requires 2 uploads. Firstly, for upload 1, the maximum length of 15 minutes of a multimedia presentation. That file can be in the form of an MP4, an M4V, or even an MOV file. These are all permissible, but note that the maximum size is 500 megabytes. The multimedia presentation needs to include the following, and in this order. Firstly, a project plan including the musical intent and the student's role. Note the word singular there. Secondly, the process of executing that plan. Thirdly, the final project itself, which demonstrates the musical skills, and the evaluation of the project's success in relation to musical goals, and of course appropriate referencing in the form of a bibliography. It is stated in the guide on page 67 and also in the music teacher's support material on page 80 to 81 that the students should compile all evidence into a single file and should be in the order of process evidence first and then the final product itself. Upload 2 should appear in the form of a PDF or a Word document and should contain the project plan, list of sources, and scores, and more information is available on page 67 of the guide. I hope that this has been helpful to you. You are welcome to provide any comments here or on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for listening.